Hi everybody, this is Ospreyeye from MyChartCoach.com, and we're going to take a look at some of the ticker symbols that were in play on Friday. Okay, let's look at NSPR. Okay, nice move here on Friday. RSI is in the 50 to 70 bull zone. We got Fasto closed at overbought levels. Nice bullish crossover here on ADX. The big move for NSPR was the close above the 50-day simple moving average. The green line here currently at 58. So that was a break above the tight channel. We would like to see that level turn into support along with EMA4 currently at 58. So we want to see those levels hold and a push up to the next key resistance levels, which is the 100-day simple moving average up here at $1. There's going to be some resistance at 90. You can see how this was a big support level. So if it can bust through this 70, just a little over 70 here, 72 resistance zone, there could be a run up to dollar land. So keep an eye on NSPR. There was a parabolic SAR bull flip, giant volume spike on Friday, and a bullish crossover on MACD on the 8, 13, and 5. Okay, CVM had a really nice day on Friday as well. You can see here it closed in the bull zone at 50 to 70, bull zone there at 54. There's a lot of room to run. Fasto at 76. Bullish crossover on ADX, so the chart is heating up. If you look here, there was a close above the middle Bollinger Band, currently at 203. That's going to be the key level to hold. The key levels to break are the 50 and 100-day simple moving averages just above, and then you can see here there's a couple of descending resistance lines from back here in September. You can see this long descending resistance line, and then this previous support line turned into resistance, and then so a break above this 250 to 270 resistance zone would put 3 on deck. Get above 3 and we're talking about a run up here to the 200-day simple moving average at 373. First things first, in order for CVM to head higher, it's going to need to turn the middle Bollinger Band into support. Notice that there was a double bottom here with January, so there was a low in January and then it came back down here in June, held support and has bounced. So now we're looking for a push through resistance to signal a possible breakout higher. There was a big volume spike on Friday, so nice volume behind the move, and recent bull crosses on MACD and a parabolic SAR bullish flip. The green dots are now below the candles. Okay, take a look at TENX. Okay, this is another stock that's heating up. Okay, we've got RSI and Fasto at overbought levels, bull crossover here on ADX, and then this has got a nice uptrend going. You can see here there was a descending triangle pattern, and there was a break above resistance. It's been heading higher, riding EMA4 support. If you notice here, it has turned the 100-day simple moving average into support, the gold line, and it's riding above the middle Bollinger Band. So this is a really nice uptrend. The next key level to break is going to be 80. Notice that was the high close back here. There is a gap on the chart, and so it's been starting to fill the gap. If it can get above 80, there is a potential for it to run up and test this 200-day simple moving average at 124 and continue filling the gap. A gap fill would be all the way up here at 190, and that would put it all the way past the 300-day simple moving average. If you look down here, there was a nice volume spike on Friday, so there was a volume behind the move, behind the push higher. So it just needs to bust through 80 resistance, and it could be back up above dollar land next week. So keep an eye on it. Let's take a look here at NIHD. You can see here that RSI and Fasto are both in the bull zone, and they both have room to run until overbought levels, so that is good. There's juice in the tank. Got a bullish crossover on ADX. This stock had been forming this sideways channel, okay, and then it finally broke out above the channel. So you notice it was trading down, it had gone sideways, and then it broke above the channel, above the middle Bollinger Band on Friday. That's what we had been looking for, and the close was right below the 80 resistance, this high close resistance level from back here in the end of May. It needs to get above that, and then the closing price here on the 6th of June, and then that would put the up here dollar land and the 100-day simple moving average on deck up here at 112. So that is the next target if it can bust through this resistance. There's a couple of high close levels here to break through in the 80s, and if that happens, it should run up to $1 and test this 100-day simple moving average. If it can get above that, then it could really get moving. It's got, you know, it's maintaining the uptrend here. Keep an eye on the volume. It had a nice move on Friday, but there wasn't big volume behind the move, so look for a bullish volume spike to push it higher. Recent MACD bull crosses signaling the chart has been heating up. Okay, so keep an eye on NIHD for follow through next week. Okay, take a look at SPI. There is a lot of room here on RSI, currently at 50, just busted back into the bull zone. Fasto is above oversold levels. There's a bullish crossover on ADX. If you notice here, there was a big move on Friday. It had this big pop and it ran up all the way near 130, and then it pulled all the way back. You know, it closed just below 90, and that created a spike down on accumulation distribution. So check this indicator out here. So you know, it down on an up day, that's bullish divergence. You know, that shows that people are taking profits, shares being sold, and so what we do like about this chart is the close above the 50-day simple moving average. It's the green line here, and also above EMA's 4, 8, and 13. So that was bullish. It was a close above several key resistance levels. And so next week, what we want to see is a close above the middle Bollinger Band and the 100-day simple moving average, currently at 96 and 98. So a close above both those levels will signal that SPI wants to head higher, and that would put the upper Bollinger Band and the 200-day simple moving average at 153 on deck. If it failed to break the middle Bollinger Band, that's going to signal downside risk. It needs to get above that level. It needs to turn $1 into support to head higher. You know, there was the volume spike on Friday. Keep an eye on MACD. We want to see a bullish crossover on the 12, 26, and 9, and there was already a bullish crossover on the 8, 13, and 5. Okay. ORPN had a good day on Friday. You know, closed up 42%. Overbought now on our side. It's above 70. Fasto is in the 50 to 80 bull zone with still some room to run until overbought levels. The big move on this chart was the break above the 50-day simple moving average, the green line here. Notice the last close above that level was back here in February, and so you know, this was the first close above that level since February on Friday on a giant volume spike. So that is signaling more upside potential. If you look back here on the 21st of June, you will see that the 50-day simple moving average resistance level was broken intraday for the first time since the pullback, and then there was also a volume spike on that day, so that was some front loading before this move, and then now you got this big break higher. In order to head higher, it's going to need to break above and close above the 100-day simple moving average at 69. It needs to turn that level into support. If it can do that next week, then we could be talking about a run up to dollar land and the 200-day simple moving average. Okay, so keep an eye on ORPN. Okay, take a look at DCTH. Okay, this closed down on Friday. This is the 15-minute chart here. And you'll notice this is a chart we were working on in the chat. It had this nice triangle pattern, and then we were looking for a break above descending resistance that happened at 2 o'clock, and that was the signal that it was ready to head higher. And then it ended up breaking the middle Bollinger Band, running all the way up, hitting the 200-day simple moving average, and pulling back. It did close above the middle Bollinger Band and above the 50 simple moving average, and so as long as it stays above the 50 simple moving average, that will signal more upside potential. Bulls don't want to see it drop back below the middle Bollinger Band. They need to see it hold above those two levels, and then it needs to break above the 100 simple moving average and the 200 simple moving average. If it can get above those levels, then it could break out higher. Notice that the 200 is lined up here with the high close on the 29th, so that's going to be the big level to break. You know, the 21, you know, it's got to get above 21.4, and then it could break out higher, so keep an eye on it. If you look at the daily chart, you can see there's a really nice uptrend going. So there was this prior really big downtrend, and then in June that was broken here on this candle that closed above the middle Bollinger Band. Since then, the share price has been heading higher. It's been backfilling along the way, but it's been holding. Notice it's been holding EMA 13 support, which is the orange line. You know, candles have still been riding above the EMA's 4 and 8, and the middle Bollinger Band has been holding. So the uptrend uptrend has been intact, and so we'd like to see 17 hold here, and then the candles get back above EMAs 4 and 8. You can see if it can get above 30, this is the 29.5 level, then it could really get going. You could see it run up to 50. That was the prior resistance level from back here, and then you've got the 200-day simple moving average, is way up here at 93. So this still has upside potential. If it breaks below 17, then you could see it drop all the way down to the middle Bollinger Band at 12. You want to see the 100-day simple moving average down here around 10 hold. So you've got big support in 10 to 12, and then you've got resistance here at 20 and then 30. If you can get above 30, it could really get running and head back up to 50. There was 4 red candles in a row to end the week last week, 4 red volume bars. It's due for a green volume bar and green candle sometime soon, so keep an eye on it. Okay, CHFS had, you notice here it's still above 70 on RSI. There was a pullback from Fasto from 80, so actually now it's down below 50. Bulls want to see it get back above 50. ADX is cooling down with plus DI hooking and minus DI hooking. Notice the big spike down on accumulation distribution. So giant spike down. So there was a big dump on Friday, and so there was the big move on Thursday, and then Friday it had the gap up open. It ran up here. It tested near the 175 level that we had targeted, and then it pulled back and it ended up closing near low of day, and so that wasn't what the bulls were looking for. We were looking for a run up here to the 100-day simple moving average potentially. It cooled down on Friday, but it's still above the middle Bollinger Band, above the 50-day simple moving average. It's still above EMA 4, so the chart still has upside potential. It just pulled back hard. What you want to see on the pullback is you want to see EMA 4 at 89 hold. You want to see that level hold. Notice the pullback, it closed back down here. This is where the gap is, and so it pulled back down to the gap level, and so you want to see the bottom of the gap here hold, which is the top of this candle, and then the key is to break above the top of the gap, which was where the open was today. And so you want to see, bulls want to see a break back above that, and that would put the 100-day simple moving average back on deck. If it drops down below EMA 4, then you could see it drop down to test the 50-day simple moving average and the middle Bollinger Band. Notice there is a gap between those two candles. Okay, and then if you take a look here at the 15-minute chart, you will see it had the big run on Thursday, and then all the action was at the open on Friday. Notice the big volume bar at the open. All the volume was at the open, and then it faded all the way into the close. It formed this falling wedge, and then it ended up breaking down below descending support. It hit the gap down here and filled the gap, and so the gap was filled from between Thursday and Friday, and then it ended up closing below the 50 simple moving average, the green line. It needs to get back above that line and then get back above the middle Bollinger Band at 120 to head higher. If the 50 simple moving average turns into resistance, then you're talking about a drop down to the 100 simple moving average, and that would put it on deck with EMA 4 on the daily chart. So keep an eye on the 15-minute chart. If the 50 simple moving average stays resistance, you could see that EMA 4 tested on the daily chart and the 100 simple moving average tested on the 15-minute chart. Okay, and one more for you. Keep an eye on IMTV. Okay, this stock is still in an uptrend. We're looking for a break now above 0.001. It bounced off of 7. It's still above EMAs 4 and 8 on this chart. If it can get above 0.0010, it could run back up here to 0.0015. So keep an eye on this 00 ticker. Okay, thank you very much for viewing this video. Check us out at mychartcoach.com and our YouTube channel at mychartcoach.com for more charts and technical analysis. Okay, thank you.